Good morning, family, and a welcome to part 16 of how the Sacramento Sheriff's Department would come and lock me out of a home that I have lived in for the past 23 years and how I got here. I'm still responding to some of the comments in the comment section, and I'm going to go back to part 11 where I talked a little bit about the name changes on the vital statistics record. And the comment that I received, or two of the comments that I received, one was from Greenleaf and the other was from Sherry. And I need to clarify because once I watched the video, I guess I left off a little bit of information in trying to keep it a little bit shorter. The Valier name that I spoke about is actually my paternal grandmother's maiden name. When my father's birth certificate and my father's death certificate were altered, her maiden name was changed to just reflect her married name only. And so the Valier name as her maiden name was removed. And so I know that Greenleaf asked, did your father change his name? No, he absolutely did not change his name. Actually, my father was a very prominent business person in Louisiana, and he used his last name as his first name. And so many folks knew him by his last name, but just would call him that as a first name. So, and I know Sherry mentioned that, families had secrets back, and sad but true. But yeah, my paternal grandmother did not have a birth certificate. So her name that was listed on my father's original birth certificate was what I went by. And like I said, I have a digitized copy of it, so I know what it was. And of course, my father and I had, spoken about my paternal grandmother's name. And one strange thing that happened to me earlier in my life that I kind of want to share with you as well. I used to be a waitress and in a popular restaurant in San Joaquin County. I absolutely loved it. But as I, was waitressing, a gentleman came in once and sat in my section, and I went over to the table. Hi, can I get you something to drink? Introduced myself, and he asked for a Diet Coke. And he's, hold on a moment. And he stopped me from leaving to go get the Diet Coke. And I said, oh, are you ready to order? No, but his pause was so long and exaggerated. He stared at me for just a moment and said, what's your father's mom's name? And I explained, it's Valier. And he said, never forget that, okay? Never forget that. And when he said it to me, it was shocking because it was a strange question. But when he said never forget it, I just kind of dismissed it as, someone, I really didn't think too much about it when he said it. But when I came back with his Diet Coke, he was gone and had left me a huge, huge tip. So once the vital statistics records were changed and altered, it made me recall that moment from earlier in my life. And now looking at it and wondering why those vital statistics records are changed, and that gentleman saying that to me, again, I'm questioning it. And I don't know, like I said, if that's related to all the things that I'm going through and what's happening in my life. But now that you've become part of my family, I'm sharing everything just so that if you have any information or can help me work through any of these things, which you already have been such a huge support system, which is why I now consider you my family, it'd be helpful. So I wanted to share that piece with you in response to part 11 and responding to a couple of the questions by Greenleaf, or comments by Greenleaf and Sherry. I'll make another part because there's a couple other pieces that I want to touch on as well. So I'll keep the video short and make another part.